The story begins with a young couple, Sarah and Mark, driving through the desolate Midwest countryside. They are on a road trip, traveling to visit Sarah's aunt. However, they take a wrong turn and end up in the rural town of Gatlin, surrounded by endless cornfields. As they drive deeper into the town, they realize something is off. The town is eerily deserted, and the few children they see stare at them with unsettling intensity. Sarah and Mark stop at a small diner, hoping to ask for directions, but they find it abandoned. Old food sits untouched on the tables, and everything seems to have been left in a hurry. As they explore further, they hear strange whispers from the cornfields. They catch glimpses of children hiding in the shadows, their faces pale and expressionless. The couple begins to sense that something is very wrong in this town. As they continue to search for help, Sarah and Mark come across an old church. Inside, they discover disturbing signs of a twisted cult. The walls are covered in strange symbols, and the altar is piled with corn stalks. Old, blood-stained Bibles and children's drawings depicting violent rituals lie scattered on the floor. The couple realizes that the town's children have formed a deadly cult that worships a dark entity known as He Who Walks Behind the Rows. As they exit the church, Sarah and Mark are surrounded by a group of children led by a sinister boy named Isaac, who appears to be their leader. The children, all with cold, emotionless expressions, hold sickles and other farming tools as weapons. Isaac declares that Sarah and Mark have been chosen as sacrifices for the next harvest, to appease their dark god. Terrified, Sarah and Mark make a run for it, plunging into the cornfields to escape the children. The thick, towering stalks seem to close in around them, and the whispers of the children echo through the corn as they give chase. The couple stumbles upon horrifying scarecrows made from the bodies of the previous victims, their eyes hollow and their mouths sewn shut. The cornfields are alive with an unseen force, driving them deeper into the maze. The couple finally emerges from the corn into a large clearing, where a massive altar made of corn and old farming tools stands. The children have surrounded them, chanting in an ancient guttural language. Isaac steps forward, announcing that the ritual will soon begin. Sarah and Mark realize that the altar is not just a symbol. It is a gateway to something far darker, something that lives beneath the cornfields. As the ritual begins, the ground starts to shake and the cornfields rustle with an unnatural wind. He who walks behind the rows begins to manifest. An enormous, shadowy figure rising from the earth, its form shifting and growing as it consumes the energy of the sacrifice. Mark fights back, but the force of the entity is overwhelming, and he is pulled toward the altar as Sarah watches in horror. Desperate, Sarah fights to save Mark from the ritual. She grabs a sickle from one of the children and confronts Isaac, striking him down in a fit of rage. The children's trance is momentarily broken, and the dark entity falters, its form wavering as it loses control over the children. Sarah and Mark take the opportunity to destroy the altar, breaking the connection between the dark force and the children. With the altar destroyed, the entity loses its power, but not before one final attack. It tries to consume Sarah and Mark, pulling them into the cornfields. In a last act of defiance, Sarah sets fire to the cornfields, the flames engulfing the stalks and the dark entity. The children scream as the force that controlled them is burned away, and the dark presence is finally destroyed. As the flames die down and the morning sun rises, Sarah and Mark make their way out of the destroyed town. The children, now freed from the entity's control, wander aimlessly, confused and scared. The once menacing town of Gatlin lies in ruins, but Sarah and Mark know they will never forget the horrors they witnessed. They drive away, leaving behind the nightmare of Gatlin, but the faint sound of whispers in the corn suggests the evil may never truly die.